Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So I did get a first gen Odyssey. If you want to know more about that, check my last video. But this isn't actually for that. This video, I have acquired both of my HFP side skirts for the FG2. So that's what this video is going to be. For those of you that don't know, I have the HFP front lip. And I've been looking for the side skirts forever, but they're really hard to find. Once again, they're obviously not authentic, but they are HFP style. But today, we're going to be, I guess you could say, mocking them up. And then we'll take them back off and get them prepped for paint. But this is something that I've wanted for a while, because when I first got this car, the main rust area is right here in the bottom of the rocker, as well as a bunch of rock chips from the previous owner. Then in this area here, I do believe it was hit because there is some body work or some body filler here that's now cracking. So nonetheless, this is gonna hide a lot of that ugliness. I'm not sure if this would be easier done on the ground or up in the air on the hoist. And if this doesn't end up working, then I will drive the car in and we'll put it in the air. So let's go ahead and get to work. If we can get them to sit just like that, it would be about perfect. I don't want to have to drill holes in the side of the car, but if I absolutely have to, don't think that I won't. I'm thinking somewhere there, but yeah, she's gonna need to go in the air. There's no way we're gonna get this to stay on. Looking at the front here, it's nice because the front has this kind of overhang that can hook around the front of the fender. Really wish the backside had one as well. I guess they say you're supposed to mount the back using 3M double stick tape, and I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan of that. I'd like to say that would probably fly off. I don't know, I guess we'll see. I don't know, the front's gonna be really easy to mount up. I already know that because it has this lip here. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. Bring the car into the shop. Perfect. I don't know exactly how easy it's gonna be to attach these with it being on the hoist, just because obviously I'm sitting on the pinch welds. I know they do have a little spot or a little cutout for the jack points, so I'm hoping that that's just enough. I'm just going to mount the front in these two holes that I was talking about previously. Then we'll start mounting up the back, or at least get an idea of where we want the back. And then back here, I was trying to come up with something. This clamp is just here to hold it in place temporarily. From the factory, they want you to attach this whole piece, lining it with double-sided tape. I do not like the idea of that. That being said, and I know a lot of you are going to disagree, but I went ahead and drilled a hole here and a hole here and into my car. Here's the thing. This car is what I consider a 20-footer. It has rust and it has body damage everywhere. So if I screw these in, and I'm going to paint the head of my screws white so that it will blend in as much as possible, but standing this far back, you will never be able to tell that it is screwed on. And if you're gonna get close on the car to see, you're gonna see a lot more other things besides just the screws. So, in my opinion, this is the better way of fastening it to the car. And I guess we'll end up seeing how it looks when I get it painted. It's hard to look at it now because it's black. It looks ratty, but just trust the process. I believe this is exactly how it is going to sit. Like I said, this is the rough draft. I know they look like shit right now, but it will all be kind of looking a lot better once they're on. This is as straight as I could get it. I know it's going to be hard to tell because it's all shiny right now and it still needs to be sanded and painted. But I went along the bottom. The bottom you're not going to see, so I just did, 5 or 6 self-tappers along the bottom. That's fine anyway. Did get the other side mounted over here. I was mentioning how this was going to be blocking a lot of the body damage that sits right behind here. And I had mentioned that the previous owner or whoever may have used some body filler in there. Well, as I was drilling my holes, I found out that this entire piece is in fact body filler. But nonetheless, it is mounted. They're solid, they're not going anywhere. Then when I get home tomorrow, I'll pull them off and we'll start sanding them down. All right, it is the following day. I just took the side skirts off. What I have here is my sander. And I got a bunch of sheets of 4, 6, and 800. So we're gonna start off with 400, scuff them all up. And normally I would hand sand this, but I hand sanded my front lip and it absolutely sucked. So I'm gonna use my sander on this one. And I also got a little cushion pad here as well for contouring. But yeah. We got both of them sanded now. We're not gonna waste any time because it is getting dark out very quickly. So gonna wipe these down with alcohol. The primer we're using, good old Rust-Oleum. So I'm gonna shoot that on here really quick and we'll be right back. I did paint into the night here and I can't really see anything anymore. For some reason we had a problem with the primer having a reaction in this area and it's not sticking. I really don't know why, because that is the area that got sanded the most, but the rest of it seemed to stick. I'm not hurting too bad from it because we are going to sand it back down before we paint it anyway. I'm going to let these dry overnight and then we will try to sand them down, see what they look like. Okay, back the next day. I had to wait for the rain to stop. The last clip, this stuff was laying weird and it was having sort of a reaction, but after I've let it dry now for a day, it's on there. So I guess we're just gonna try to sand it, and if it doesn't look too bad, then we're gonna shoot it with the taffeta white. So we're just gonna get sanding right away.
It's something that you're prone to, so divine. You have better lies. Left the way that it felt. Now feel the blade. But you're the one that needs help. We have the ransom. Tell me how that you can swim when ropes are wrapped around your legs. There's no more chances. So tell me now if you can swim when ropes are wrapped around your legs. Breathing slowly never worked for me.
Just in case you're wondering, this process has been a complete fucking nightmare. And these Duplicolor paint cans, they give you about enough paint to paint a car door handle. So it took about 4 cans, and they're not cheap. I'm just getting my last couple coats on the driver's side. I got the passenger side over here. It's done for the most part. It's still drying. Like I said, just getting my one last coat on.
The smell of vanity, it went away. I followed streetlights till I wound up at your place.
And hopefully, if we did all this correctly, it'll look, I don't know, 50% as good. That's what we're shooting for. It is the following day. I did get some clips last night, but I didn't want to use them because it was too dark out to see anything. But I threw the side skirts on last night. And we're going to start from about, this is about 20 foot away right here. You actually can't even notice that there's a side skirt on. But it's nice because it hides all the damage like we were talking about previously. And even coming up to about a little less than 10 feet, you almost can't even tell the screws in the back. And I'm gonna give Duplicolor Color Match a little credit here. The white match is pretty darn good. But one thing I will have to change is I'll have to pull off this piece and trim down a little bit of this front side here because it doesn't exactly sit as flush as I'd like it. But nonetheless, I think it looks really good. I think it gives the car a lot more body, a lot more juiciness. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this video up. So thanks for sticking around and watching my week-long process on painting some side skirts. It's been a complete nightmare. I hate sanding, I hate painting. I'm not a painter, but I will see you guys in the next video.